This is Top 30.
Welcome to the show. I'm Richard Bacon.
And I'm Kristen Smith. We have 30 stories in 30 minutes. Coming up, there's a trend in online shopping, but it's not fashion, it's fraud. How to avoid health problems caused by our smartphones. And the genius way this college dropout made a fortune.
But first, a new tax on soda has led to a huge drop in sales of sugary drinks. Researchers at Drexel University found that just 2 months after Philadelphia passed a tax on sweetened beverages, the city's consumption of soda had dropped 40%. Sodas in Philadelphia are now taxed at 1.5% for every ounce. It also applies to energy drinks, diet sodas, and fruit juice drinks with sugar added. Consumption of energy drinks dropped 64%. Fruit drinks remained flat. The researchers say many consumers think fruit drinks are healthier than soda, even when they contain the same amount of sugar. Sugary drinks make up about 7% of all calories consumed in the US. They've been linked to obesity, which in turn can lead to heart disease, diabetes, and some types of cancer. The scientists say their next step will be a follow-up study to see if soda consumption stayed low. Now, there is an airline designed just for millennials. It's a small airline partnered by Air France called June, and they're taking aim at 18 to 35-year-olds in every millennial way imaginable. Craft beers and signature cocktails are offered during the flight, and passengers can stream entertainment to their own device of choice. There's USB charging at every seat, and the uniforms the flight attendants wear are environmentally friendly, made of 60% recycled material. Their tagline is the new generation flying experience, and it doesn't come cheap. They've marketed themselves as a boutique airline flying experience.
Danielle Knox from Fox 35 Orlando has what you need to know today. Danielle, I hear online shopping is getting less safe.
Hi there, Kristen. Well, I love to shop online, but shopping online could be costing us big time. Credit reporting agency Experian says online fraud has increased by 30% since 2017. Over half these transactions take place through internet browsers, another 30% on a mobile device. Delaware, Oregon, Florida, New York, and California see at least 50% of all online fraud attacks. Well, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the firmness of your handshake? New research says that if you have a firm shake, you probably are smarter and have a better memory than most people. Scientists say muscular strength measured by hand grip can indicate just how healthy your brain is. Not a breakfast fan? You may want to become one, because new research suggests that it may just help keep the pounds off. Researchers looked at more than 300 adults, finding those who ate breakfast had smaller waistlines and were less likely to be obese compared to those who skipped it. Researchers say the findings are preliminary until they appear in a medical journal. In the meantime, I say bring on the pancakes, Kristen. And that's what you need to know. Let's go back to you now.
Well, science has confirmed it. Thanks, Danielle. Moving on now, this 21-year-old quit college to rate dogs on the internet, and it's going extremely well. Matt Nelson created the Twitter account We Rate Dogs at an Applebee's in North Carolina 2 years ago, and now he has nearly 7 million followers. The young CEO makes over $100,000 a year, and he estimates he runs 95% of his business from his iPhone at his parents' house. Most of the money comes from his We Rate Dogs online store that his social media ratings made popular. He said Twitter inspired his life-changing decision to drop out of Campbell University. I saw other people doing extraordinary things in 140 characters. I realized dogs were a very hot topic on the internet. If I wanted my writing to reach more people, I wanted to utilize dogs. Well, now people are literally begging him to rate their fur babies. So I guess not all dreams require college. And Top 30 will be right back.
A high school student in Michigan may have discovered a solution for the Flint water crisis. During a presentation at a regional American Chemical Society meeting, 18-year-old Michael Ruprecht realized he could use his passion for chemistry to figure out a way to remove harmful elements from the tainted water.
We eventually created a ligand, which is a molecule that binds to other molecules, and it basically has the potential of removing harmful substances from water. So how we like to think about it is like an arm cloth. So our ligand comes in and it kind of grabs the harmful substance out.
Ruprecht won a travel grant through the organization so he can present his idea nationally at a conference in Boston. But perhaps most impressive is that he will be the only high school student. Everybody else working to fix the water in Flint have PhDs or are graduate students.
It turns out the way you sleep could affect your health. Cody Goff, host of the Curiosity podcast, joins us from his studio to tell us more. So, Cody, I hear there's one sleeping position that's better than others?
That's right, Kristen. Sleep experts say the best sleeping position is lying on your back. But only about 8% of people land in that position naturally. The position is good for relieving aches and pains you might have had during the day. You're also less likely to aggravate heartburn because your head is more elevated than your chest. Sleeping on your side can cause shoulder and hip pain, so you can try a thick pillow with neck support to take pressure off your shoulders, and stuffing a pillow between your knees could prevent lower back pain, but why not just train yourself to be a back sleeper? Try getting in bed with 2 pillows on either side of you and one beneath your knees. That'll keep you from rolling over in the middle of the night. As for stomach sleepers, that puts pressure on your entire body, and when you wake up, you're gonna have a bad time. Hey, don't blame me, blame science. And try a new routine. Maybe you'll thank me later. Kristen?
Well, tonight I'll make sure to sleep lying on my back. Thanks, Cody. And you can check out more on curiosity.com.
High school teacher Eric Saueracker enacted a strict cell phone ban policy during his physics midterm exam so his students couldn't cheat. But one student at Hudson's Bay High School in Vancouver, Washington, wanted to listen to his Kanye album so badly during the test, he made a drastic move that even his teacher couldn't argue. Wyatt Prutch brought in a full-on portable record player and plugged in his headphones. The physics teacher was so impressed, he took a photo of the setup and tweeted it out. It already has more than 500,000 likes. Oh, and Prutch ended up acing the exam. Society's collective addiction to technology has spawned an entire subgenre of new medical terms to describe the physical ailments that arise from staring at a screen all day. Physicians at Imagine MD, a primary care network based in Chicago, analyzed the top tech-related ailments from Google search trends and gave advice on how to mitigate the aches and pains that come along with them. Number 1, texting thumb. Tendons in the thumb can become inflamed from repeated and extended use. The only way to fix it, stop texting all the time. Number 2, selfie elbow. Holding your arm out to snap a selfie actually irritates the ulnar nerve, which runs through the elbow and lower arm. One way to prevent it, ask someone else to take your picture. And number 3, text neck. Leaning your head forward to look at your phone screen can put stress on your spine. The solution, improve your posture and keep your neck in a neutral position. The best way to avoid these ailments altogether is to get off your phone. Top 30 will be right back. Welcome back to Top 30. The Pew Center says a growing number of Americans no longer view the internet as a good thing. A survey found the number of adults who think the internet is positive for society dropped 6% since 2014. At the same time, the number who think it's a mixed blessing went up 8%. It's obviously a bad thing, the internet. It's just net negative for the world.
I have Googled about 35 things since I've woken up this morning. So I think there's a huge positive side.
No, I'm not saying there's not a positive side. I'm just saying it's net negative.
Okay.
It's a relationship to sex, to crime, to lies. It's just a dark, dark hole, the internet. And the upside is you can connect with more people and you can get more information.
So I think that mixed blessing, that percentage, that's what you're citing here.
Yeah.
I think interestingly enough, only a small share, 5%, were worried about their personal information being shared online. And that may be because we're getting used to it, with all the incidents happening with Target, Home Depot, JP Morgan Chase.
Fatigue.
Equifax.
Personal data being stolen, fatigue.
Yeah. One thing that is very bright, I grocery shopped online. And when I get home, I will have a refrigerator full of groceries.
Yeah, that convenience.
All right, well, here's another story to talk about. According to Business Insider, there are colorful expressions or sayings that are common in America but confusing to those from abroad. Like, it's a piece of cake, or Monday morning quarterback. So, Richard, let's shoot the breeze about a few of these.
I don't know where shoot the breeze comes from.
It's actually 19th century slang.
Is it?
When breeze meant rumor.
So shoot the breeze is talk about something trivial. So
yeah.
You're just talking about a rumor. Is that what that means?
Kind of how we are right now.
We are shooting the breeze. Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah. No, are these stumping you at all?
No, because I can work out what that is, because that's obviously, even though I'm not a big sports follower, it's the Monday after the weekend, but there's been a sports game, so you're like the armchair like the armchair general. It's the same kind of thing.
See, you're totally getting these. I picked a couple that I think will stump you.
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah, shoot.
Jump on the bandwagon.
No, that is actually, I think that's originally a British phrase. It's a reference to P.T. Barnum, who founded a very famous circus. But jumping on the bandwagon became, I mean, it's about following trends.
Yes, okay. Yeah. How about this one? Nosebleed section.
Don't know where that comes from. What does that mean?
Yes, I stumped you.
Yeah.
When you're sitting up super high, you know, and then you get the air's thinner, so your nose can.
That's great. They're a joy to learn about because the etymology of them is so interesting. They often come from the 17th century or literature or Shakespeare. Or, you know, it's all worth reading.
You're into it.
I'm into it.
All right.
So don't cry over spilt milk as we jump on the bandwagon and let the cat out of the bag after the break.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 46 Charlotte, Kathy Sandiffer has been an elementary school teacher for 22 years, and she loves every minute of it. Not only does she make sure her kids are being challenged academically, oftentimes teaching above their third grade level, but she also makes sure they're having fun, rewarding their hard work with Popsicle Fridays.
I want them to just have that love for learning and always, you know, wanting to learn more, but being kind to each other.
Our next story from Fox 2 Detroit. Construction projects are revitalizing Detroit. In response, the city created STEP, or Skilled Trades Employment Program, providing Detroit residents with the skills necessary so the jobs go to them. Program participant Elena Denard enrolled as a carpenter apprentice and sees it as a way to give back to her community.
I can't wait to give back. Whatever project comes up, I'll have the skill set to do it now. I'll be able to build the community that Detroit deserves to have.
Our final story from Fox 10 Phoenix. 13-year-old Perrin Steele thought he was at Mountain View High School to thank its students for participating in a Make-A-Wish fundraiser. Little did he know the $10,000 raised by students would be going towards his wish. Now Perrin, a fan of the Percy Jackson children's books, will travel to Greece with his family to explore the places described in the books.
So I thought it'd be really cool if I got to see the places they talked about in the books.
Mountain View is the first school in Arizona to raise such an incredible amount for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Welcome back to Top 30. Scientists looking into what factors impact a child's performance at school may have found a new trait, curiosity. It joins other important factors like family income, access to childhood programs, and home environment. So curiosity, important when it comes to learning, totally makes sense to me, just because curiosity in a child is something that can be a motivating factor. It's something that can lead to perseverance. You know, you fight through the difficulties because you're so desperate to find out what's at the end.
Well, it's just one of the great studies, this. Somebody was curious about whether or not curiosity would improve school achievement.
Yes.
And they've proved that it is. It's just one of the most important virtues, I think, in being a child and in being a human, is to just constantly look at the world and ask questions and wonder how it works, and to be fascinated by people and their stories. This is just about asking. I love that people I love the most are not those that are full of self-certainty. It's those that keep asking questions. And I'd far rather my son learnt and daughter learnt that than almost anything else, because I think everything else flows from that. You know?
Was that a quote or was that an original?
No.
That was an original thought.
Yeah, I was just making up as I said it.
You need to trademark that one. That's good.
The nicest thing you've ever said about me. Maybe the only one. No, I don't mean that. Now to a story about airlines having an increasing problem with passengers stealing pillows and blankets. United Airlines, American Airlines and British Airways have upgraded their first-class cabins with luxury pillows and blankets from high-end stores. I guess you wouldn't assume somehow that people in first class would go around stealing things. You know, if they could,
I hope people would just have a no-steaing policy.
A no-stealing policy. They're already spending like 10 grand on a ticket.
Right.
Buy a pillow. You can afford a pillow. This is tawdry.
Look at how comfy they look, though. When you see the pillow and the blanket with the slippers and everything, I mean, they do look very comfy.
They're better than any pillow you would naturally buy for yourself at home.
People can't help themselves. You know, this is a huge investment by these airlines to provide these comfy things. British Airways invested $565 million in, you know, the blankets and pillows and things. So when people steal them, it's a big deal.
You're still a thief.
Yes, you are.
First-class thief, still a thief.
Yeah, right.
What's the worst thief?
Right. Okay, how about this story? A mother at a baby shower got a present from a guest. The gift was to not have to write thank you cards for everything she'd received.
Yeah.
So this is actually a real thing. I myself feel like after, my son's birthday party a couple weeks ago, I was feeling the pressure like, oh my gosh, I have to get the thank you cards out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is a lot. They're not going to think I'm grateful.
It's a nice idea, that. So I think what happened, did she stand up at the baby shower and just say, on behalf of everyone here, you don't have to write us? Was that what happened?
I know, that's kind of a cheap gift.
Yeah, that's a cheap gift. That's true.
How are you going to say this is my gift, that I'm just going to tell you something?
Yeah, that is true. You don't need to send me a thank you card for my gift of not sending thank you cards.
Do you think you're obligated to send thank you cards when you get a gift?
I do text and email. I once did write someone a thank you card, and then they wrote me a message to say thank you for the thank you card. And I thought, I'm now trapped in like a never-ending loop. Thank you,
of gratitude.
Of gratitude.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. No, I think this is great. I think it costs nothing and it's a nice idea.
Yeah.
And writing thank you notes is boring. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now to today's health roundup. A new study found drinking alcohol can change the makeup of bacteria in your mouth. Researchers say the resulting imbalance of good versus bad bacteria can increase the risk of gum disease and cavities, and it can also lead to much more serious things like cancer and heart disease. The alcohol kills microbiomes found in a person's mouth. They're a collection of organisms that help digest food and protect people from disease. Now, to a new treatment that may help the 37 million Americans who suffer from migraine headaches. A recent preliminary study about a new class of drugs called Roundup found that it blocked the molecule that transmits pain during an attack. The medication is an injection, and the goal is to stop a migraine before it starts. Doctors say it's the first migraine drug designed for prevention, and researchers said they'll need more tests to find out if it will continue to work long term. And doctors who are part of the US Preventive Services Task Force are now recommending older adults should focus on exercise to improve balance and coordination. This is instead of taking vitamin D supplements, which have been connected to an increased risk of fractures, kidney stones, and some cancers when taken at higher doses. Because of that, doctors are focusing more on exercise and balance activities to prevent falls that can lead to serious injuries for the elderly. The doctors did say seniors currently taking supplements should do so until consulting with their physician. And that is today's health roundup.
When Serena Tsubakiara lost her digital camera while scuba diving in Japan more than 2 years ago, she assumed it was gone forever. Little did she know a group of 5th graders cleaning up the beach in Taiwan would stumble across a great discovery. A digital camera in a waterproof case covered in barnacles had washed up on shore, and teacher Park Lee was shocked it was still intact. He found underwater photos dated September 2015. Well, Lee shared some of the photos on his Facebook page, hoping friends would help him find the owner. The post quickly went viral, and it wasn't long before it found its way to Tsubakiara's screen. She was able to get to Taiwan earlier this year to pick up her camera and personally thank Lee and his students. Now, here's a cool story. A nonprofit in Calgary, Alberta, is planning to develop a community of tiny homes, all to help support Canada's homeless military veterans. According to Veteran Affairs Canada, there are at least 2,600 homeless vets in the country. The Homes for Heroes Foundation hopes their purpose-built communities will help to put a roof over their heads. Co-founder David Howard said they're in shelters, they're on the street, they're under bridges. Unfortunately, what they're not in is a home, and that's what we will fix. The foundation is hoping to build communities with 15 to 20 small homes each, fully furnished at about 250 square feet, with a communal garden and community hub building. These veterans have sacrificed so much for their country. It's nice to see someone trying to give back. More Top 30 after this.
Historic NASA photos that were saved from the trash ended up selling for $42,000 at auction. The photos cover the first 11 years of NASA's manned missions into space, which date from 1961 to 1972. The pictures include a wide variety of images, including rockets lifting off, astronauts in space, and even portraits of space pioneers like Neil Armstrong. Before digital photographs, media outlets would rely on picture handouts from NASA and then throw the prints they didn't use away. But one employee of a national picture agency saved them instead of throwing them out and put them up for auction. Experts say it's likely NASA has some of these images in its archive, but those are not publicly accessible, which makes these pictures even more rare and even more valuable.
Thanks for watching. You can catch up on past episodes of Top 30 now on Hulu. You can also download the Top 30 mobile app and visit our website. We want to hear from you, so connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe to @Top30TV for interviews and exclusive web content. We'll see you next time on Top 30.